Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nothing But Reds. Liverpool have just defeated Everton 1-0 in the FA Cup, third round, I believe. On to the next round. Overall, good game. Our boy Curtis Jones with an absolute screamer from outside the box with a nice little sequence with Origi, who I think had a good game, but we'll get into that as well. So we saw a lot of the young guys out there again. We saw Harvey Elliott. Minamino made his debut in that Firmino role, kind of a false nine guy. And then, of course, we got Joe Gomez, Nathaniel Phillips at the back. We had Larouci, which is good. I like Larouci. And then Williams over on the right. And then Adrian. Adrian did well in goal. He had those two main saves in the first half, those two really good saves. Of course, they were kind of right at him, but you do have to have quick reactions and strong hands and feet to make those saves, so that was good. Going through the game, the first half, pretty boring, to be honest with you. Both teams were kind of finding their feet. It seemed like Everton didn't really have too much of a game plan going forward. I think Ancelotti really wanted to play that 4-4-2, the two low blocks, and kind of play the long ball, switching the ball down the field. And then as they got into the second half, they started to play out from the back, which the Everton fans didn't really like too much, but we handled that great. And what's crazy about it is we had pretty much our U23 team out there. Like I mentioned, up at the front, you had Origi up there, you had Minamino, and then, of course, you had Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott's the man, okay? 16 years old, giving Luca Digne a real problem over there on the left-hand side. I just think it was overall a good game, all right? So let's get into the stats. Our boys, 57% possession to Everton's 43. And like I said, the first half was slow. Everything sort of picked up in the second half. 12 shots on target for us. 5 of those were on goal, including Curtis Jones' screamer, which I'll get into. And then we got Everton, 11 shots, 3 shots on goal. So shots were pretty even, but Everton had those chances where they kind of just, they're not clinical. I think Walcott had that cross in the box at Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin tried the Flying Dutchman approach to that goal. Couldn't do it. Doesn't matter. 5 fouls for us, 8 fouls for them. 1 yellow card for them, none for us. We also had no red cards, of course, no offsides. Everton had 2 offsides. Now, corner kicks, we had 12 corner kicks, so we were really getting forward. We were really pressing their back line and really trying to make them defend us, which is our whole style of play, isn't it? So saves, 3 saves, and then 4 saves for Everton. Jordan Pickford had some really good saves. I think that shot from Origi was incredible. I think Origi had a really good game from that left-hand side. He's really found a home there. He originally, a couple years ago, when he was getting in the side, he was playing up front, and it wasn't necessarily the best spot for him. I think he's quick enough to where he can play on the wing. He has the footwork to where he can dribble inside, cut inside, and then take that rocket shot off his right foot, where we see him make plenty of goals that way. And I think, personally, I just think that's his spot. The only criticism I have of him is putting crosses into the box, although he did have one really good cross today, but he doesn't have too much of a left foot. Now, he can shoot with the left foot, but dribbling, not so much. Now, Minamino, not too much. I mean, nothing special today. Obviously, he's a talent. But when you come over from a different league and then you get thrown into the Premier League, there's going to be an adjustment period. And I brought this up before. All right, y'all, I've brought this up before. Look at Fabinho. It took him 6 months to get integrated into the side. Okay, he made appearances. It wasn't like he was isolated out of the squad. But it took him a while to learn the system and get integrated. But once Klopp put him in every game, he's incredible. And now, I don't notice he's gone, which is actually a great sign. But once he comes back, there's going to be that adjustment period again. You can't just throw a guy into the side, at least in my mind. Of course, Klopp probably could. As I mentioned before, you plug guys in, they do a great job. But Minamino needs that adjustment period, okay? So nothing special from him. At the beginning of the game, he was kind of flopping a little bit, trying to get those calls, which is fine. I mean, he was playing in the middle of the field. Nothing special, okay? I'm looking forward to see what we get from him going forward. But Origi had a great game. I think Harvey Elliott, he was a good game. I don't think he had as good of a game as he did against Aston Villa, but he did play a great game. Now, Curtis Jones, I want to give Curtis Jones some props because I remember ever since we played Preston or something, some scrubs, okay? Tranmere maybe, but like 2 preseasons ago, and he always impresses me in preseason. And then now we're starting to see him really make an impact. And obviously there's going to be people out there saying, I'm just saying that because he had this amazing goal. But think about that goal. That takes talent. The kid's 18 years old. You look at him, Harvey Elliott, you got Larouci, who I think is maybe 19, 20, 21, something like that. He's really young. Then, of course, Joe Gomez. We have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. That goal signifies that this player is growing. You can't just rip a shot on Jordan Pickford, who's arguably England's #1, upper right-hand corner. You know what goal it reminded me of? Do y'all remember Firmino's goal against Arsenal at Anfield a few years back? It was like one of Firmino's first games under Klopp. That was a great game. I think we ended up winning 5-1 or something, or 4-1. And it was more central on the field, but Firmino ripped it into the upper right-hand corner. And that's what Curtis Jones' goal reminded me of. But the build-up play to that was even better. Him and Origi were kind of just toying with that right-hand side. Remind me in the comments of that Everton's right back's name. But they were playing on that right-hand side, and then they had a nice little 1-2. Divock was thinking about cutting down towards the goal line, and then he just switches it in. Curtis rips one. Why not? Why not have a chance? The FA Cup, you guys don't play that much. That's awesome. I'm really glad we got the win, but like I was saying before, it was a little boring in the first half, but the second half, once Ox came on, we really looked energetic, right? We were just breaking them down with the pass. We were doing little triangles all over the field, all the way down the field. They just couldn't handle it. Everton cannot win, knock on wood, Everton cannot win at Anfield. They struggle. And they even had a somewhat strong side out there, right? They had Yerry Mina, Mason Holgate at the back, who they've started in the Premier League. Fabian Delph ended up coming on towards the end of the game. You had Theo Walcott, Calvert-Lewin. So they had good first-team players on there. But it just shows the quality of the side that we have when you have players that are U23 players coming in and getting a 1-0 victory. Another player I want to give shouts out to before we wrap this up is Adrian. I think Adrian did an excellent job today. And he's nothing special, right? When he was at West Ham, no one was saying he was great. But this just goes back to what I was saying about being able to get plugged into a system and do awesome. Comes in, makes great saves. He made that great save with his foot, and then also that header right at him. Guy's great. Guy's great. No complaints. I think it was really good that we got this win. And I think Klopp puts more value on the FA Cup, obviously, than the League Cup. So he doesn't care too much if we get knocked out of there. But the FA Cup is a chance for us to really get our young guys in, to get some playing time. But also for the players to grow and build some chemistry between them. Our next game is against Tottenham. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're really building a system now where we're focusing on the young guys that are coming through. And not only that, but we're focusing on giving those young guys chances to challenge the first team. Even today, if you look at where Minamino was playing, I personally didn't think he was going to play up front. I thought maybe he would play on the wing, but the chances of most likely I thought he was going to play in the midfield. Kind of like a Keita role or a Chamberlain role, something like that. But the fact that we're bringing these players in that aren't necessarily better than the first team, but are good enough to challenge them for starting spots is good. This is why I think Klopp signed this deal, is because he had all these young players coming in. Look at the really young Keanu Hoover over at right back. You got Vandenberg at center back. Joe Gomez, of course, young. But then you have LaRucci, you have Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott. Even Chiravella had a decent game, right? I have no complaints of him. He's a little older, though. He's 22, I think, 23. But he's been with us for a long time. I mean, these young players are going to challenge first-team players. And that competition is so important when you're trying to build up an organization where someone decides to leave. You have players that are being mentored and being kind of groomed to take that spot. That's ultimately how you build just a unit of an organization to take on anyone. So, summing it up, guys, another great win. Leave a comment down below what you thought of the game. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. This was a great win. I think a 1-0 victory over Everton. Our young guys got a chance to play. Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope to see you guys next time. Taking on Tottenham at Tottenham, Premier League game. Should be a good one. We'll see what our team can do. Personally, I think we're gonna take the W. Get the 3 points, but Tottenham, especially Jose Mourinho, have been known to give us a little bit of trouble. Who knows? He's a different manager now, right? He says he's a different manager, so we'll see what happens, guys, all right? Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.